They try to bend and they try to break me by design. I am the nightmare that will haunt you in the night. If that's one that you want, then I'm ready to play. And the world's gonna know my name. Know my name. Know my name. Know my. Everywhere that I go, every failure I fall, every crack in my bones, I'm untouchable. Everywhere that I go, every failure I fall, every crack in my bones, I'm untouchable.
All right. What's up, everybody? We are live for a special edition of Into the Wrestleverse. I am Ace. Usually you see me on my show, Ace is Wild. I got big, sexy Joey over here and our boy Michael. What's up, boys? How we doing?
What's going on, man?
Oh, you know, just getting the build set for SummerSlam for some folks. You know, we got SummerSlam this weekend. I'm not gonna lie. I have not followed as closely as I did before WrestleMania. Life just kind of been busy. I try to catch it on Hulu when I can, and but I'm gonna let you two take the majority of the reins here. We're trying to let you guys get your feet wet on hosting the show yourselves. So I'll be here for fun. I'll chime my 2 cents in. Let's all see our wrestling shirts that we got on. I got my She's My Mommy. My Rhea Ripley shirt. Looks like you got your Bray shirt and that CM Punk shirt. Let's go. We are all set for some wrestling talk. WrestleMania, or I'm sorry, not WrestleMania. SummerSlam is this weekend. The build to SummerSlam has been pretty good. I feel like the last couple Monday Night Raws have been entertaining. SmackDown, on the other hand, I don't know. I feel like it's kind of floundering a little bit. I feel like the lack of true challengers for Cody Rhodes is really
it's been more control. It's been more control. A lot has happened on both shows. You know, don't get me wrong. I don't want to knock SmackDown out the waters or any of that. But you know, they've been holding it. You know, like matches wise, I'm excited for LA Knight versus Logan Paul. Like that's huge.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's about time that LA Knight got put back into the spotlight after getting beat by Roman. It really kind of killed his momentum. The movement was on a fucking tear, and they just decided to feed him to the wolves right away, and that was kind of it.
Yeah, and I know you said you haven't been able to follow it a lot, Ace, but the leading up to that match has been pretty good. It's been a lot of LA Knight trying to hunt down Logan Paul to get this rematch. He's gone through everything to as much as where he went swimming in the dude's pool just to get his attention. So he's gone way past the line to make sure he got this match, and now he's got this match. And I think even Logan. LA Knight came out and said if he won Money in the Bank, he was going to cash in on Logan. Right.
Which I think that's so. Listen, the whole winning Money in a Bank and cashing it in on the mid-card champion is very weird to me. They did that with Austin Theory, and I think that's because they didn't have any idea what to do with Theory at the time. I just think it's weird. Like, you win this opportunity to cash in for any championship, and if you're a wrestler and you're in the WWE, your goal is to be the WWE champion. So why wouldn't you cash it in on the champion?
So the only argument, I think the only argument, and this is not the case for Logan Paul. I think he can hang in there with anybody, but I think the argument to that would be if someone, a little less, like a Rey Mysterio or a Dominic or something like that, he might be able to have a title reign, being like an Intercontinental U.S. champion. But like if he was, the heavyweight champion, in all honesty, his reign's probably not lasting very long. So it's probably also has come down to do like how well they can compete in that division for those belts as well.
Yeah, I agree. I think, like we just talked a little bit about how SmackDown's kind of been a little lackluster. I think it has a lot to do with there's so much mid-card talent that I don't think they were ready to take the reins. No pun intended. That Roman's gone. So I think it's going to be interesting to see. We'll get into that match a little bit later. That'll be the last match we talk about tonight. But I think it'll be interesting to see the direction that they go after SummerSlam. But getting into it, fellas, I'm just pulling up the match card right now that Joey had sent. All right, so we got LA Knight, Logan Paul. I think that match is going to be. I think the crowd's going to be hot for that match. I think everybody's pulling for Logan or LA Knight to beat Logan Paul, and it seems like that's what's going to happen. I feel like Paul's had the title long enough, and I think he's ready to take a little bit of a break from the WWE. So I wouldn't be surprised to see our boy LA Knight.
Yeah, and I mean, Joey, you can probably clarify this. I mean, I'm trying to remember what it is, but isn't Jake and Logan Paul they're doing something together right now, correct? They're doing some kind of project?
Yeah. I guess it's supposed to lead up to his brother's fight.
Against Mike Tyson, right?
Yeah. And then another thing too is Logan's dealing with the lawsuit from the Olympics with Prime.
Yeah, so it's probably best that dude gets out of the spotlight of the WWE.
Yeah, for right now.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna be a great battle, and I agree with you, Ace. I think it's fair to say probably 90% of the fan base are going to be on LA Knight's side.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just LA Knight. It's his time. Like, he's been so over now for a while, and it's like, okay, like he's proven he can hold on his own. You know, he went up against again the was it triple threat or fatal 4-way with Roman Reigns, and then the match against WrestleMania against Styles, which was a pretty good match. Like, he's been going head to head with these guys and proving that he can hang with the big boys. So, like, putting the title on him now is the right move to go. Like, you know, this will prove that, hey, if he could do right with the U.S. title, all right, now we can put him in the, you know, maybe in the future he could be the next champion, world heavyweight, or, you know, undisputed.
Unfortunately, I think he's a little too old now to get his shot at the WWE championship. And honestly, I think a mid-card title's fine for him. I don't know if his shtickle would transition well to being the champion. I know he's great on the mic, but
I don't agree. I mean, back then when they put the title on Rey Mysterio, Rey Mysterio's like 100 years old.
I mean, that's true. I think it's weird when they gave Rey the United States title in the first place anyways. This last time, I thought it was so unneeded. But I think, didn't somebody get hurt? If I remember, wasn't who was it? Escobar, wasn't he supposed to win, but he was hurt? Yeah, so I mean, hey, one Mexican goes down, bring the next one in. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. That's how we go.
That is how they do it in WWE. So for that match, who do you guys?
It's like when you buy a taco. Like, you don't just get one tortilla, because if that one breaks, you gotta have the next one to back it up.
That's right. You need to have a backup one. Oh man! All right, so who do you guys have winning that match?
LA Knight.
Mike,
say that one more time.
Who do you think wins that match?
The Logan Paul match.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's LA Knight's time. I mean, he's like I said, he's gone through complete hell to get this match. So I think if you go to the lengths that he's gone, and you finally, and it took him up until what was it, a week or two ago, Joey, to finally convince Logan to agree to this fight. So last week. So I mean, you use every week you're able to convince him to fight this. So it's like you don't go through all that and not finish the job. It's kind of you went through everything. You went to the dude's house. You went in his pool. You went through his security. You called him out publicly. You humiliated him in the middle of the ring in front of the world. So you did a lot of shit talking, so which is fine, but now it's time to back it up.
Yeah, I think if Logan, or
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
I
if LA Knight doesn't win this match, I don't think you can put him in a title picture again and actually take it seriously as somebody who can challenge for the title. You know, he's lost too much at that point. It'd kind of be like when Dolph Ziggler would get a shot at the title and he just never won and never won and never won. And then the next thing you know, it's like, oh, he's fighting Dolph for the title. We know this is how it's going to go. He's not going to win.
Right.
So,
Right.
all right. So we're all in agreement. I think LA Knight wins that match.
Yeah.
The Bailey and Nia Jax match. Are you guys really super pumped to watch that match?
Yes, but no. Only reason why I'm kind of pumped about it is because it is Tiffy time. And right now,
yeah, she's the champ, or the Money
right
in the Bank.
now, Tiffy, she's not all in on Nia, so I don't know.
So this might sound very corny, and that's okay. I don't care that much. I've been following wrestling since I was about 5 years old. I've been hardcore wrestling fan my whole life growing up, going to the events as kids. Now it's the point where I'm taking my kids to the events. Bailey had that same lifestyle. She grew up just a die-hard wrestling fan, and you can tell, you know, the lifelong wrestling fans that watch this for years, they can tell when someone's wrestling because it's their job and when they're wrestling because they love it. And Bailey wrestles because she loves it, and it just makes her so fun to watch for me.
I agree 100%. And it's just like nothing, you know, it's nothing against Nia. I don't hate her. I don't, you know, have nothing bad to say about her. I don't wish nothing bad. Like, I wish the best for her, but she's just not entertaining. Like, to me, in my head, she's like a Bill Goldberg. It's like she just uses her weight around her strength, and it's like, okay, well, she's gonna demolish this person and done and throw away. Like, she sits on everybody. Like, come on now, like do something. Do a cartwheel, roll into a ball and roll over them or something. I mean, for crying out loud, look at Bronson Reed or Kevin Owens. Like, they use their weight to their, like, you know, they're all over.
I agree with you on the Bronson Reed statement. I think Bronson Reed is a physical freak. That dude is so impressive.
He's 360 pounds.
Yeah, he's doing front flips and back flips off the top rope.
You know who he reminds me of? He almost looks like a guy who's filling the role of Ryback.
Yeah, a little bit. Yes. I kind of thought Bam Bam Bigelow for a while. He had very Bam Bam Bigelow like vibes.
Or Vader.
That's an old reference for the older generation. I don't know if a lot of these youngsters really know who Bam Bam Bigelow is.
We and in the mix of all of this, what are your guys' thoughts? The Miz and R-Truth, the hosts.
Yes. I mean,
I'm so glad they took the titles off of those two.
Oh, I'm not. I missed that.
It was
great.
I loved it.
I'm crazy to see what hors d'oeuvres that the Miz is bringing. I already know that R-Truth is bringing the ice, so I wonder what else they're gonna bring and what Jelly Roll's bringing besides, you know, him performing at SummerSlam.
Bro, you know that R-Truth is not bringing no ice. He's gonna bring something that has nothing to do with.
Well, it's funny because it's like he already told him, he's like, wait. You know, I thought you lived in LA. He goes, I do live in LA. Well, how are you gonna fit SummerSlam in your house when you live in LA? You know, he's like, they're going back and forth. He's like, I goes, well, what about the hors d'oeuvres? What are you bringing? Like, he goes, you know, I'll just bring it. What are you gonna? He goes, I'll bring the ice, man. Don't worry, I'll bring the ice. I'm like, oh god, he's so great.
R-Truth is one of my favorite things that's been happening in wrestling this whole past year.
Funny. He is so
from
hilarious.
The Judgment Day angle and the way they just like. You knew eventually that was going to come to an end, but there was always that part of you that was really hoping that maybe they let him join the Judgment Day. But yeah, man, R-Truth has just been. I mean, he's been with the company for Jesus.
Yeah, for a minute. Since he was
20 years. Quick. Yeah, he was there as K-Quick with Road Dogg. They were getting rowdy.
Yeah,
exactly.
So I think it'll be fun. It'll break up the card a little bit. Sometimes, you know, when you have a card like they have where there's 2, 4, 6, 7 matches, it kind of gets a little stale. after a while, so it'll be fun to see, how they interact. I know Jelly Roll's performing, which will be cool to watch. I'm a huge Jelly Roll guy myself. Bailey and Nia, who wins that match?
Oh, man,
I got Bailey.
I want Bailey because I'm not a Nia Jax fan, but I don't know. The way they've been using her. I mean, you can't keep not giving the title to her. I mean,
how long has Bailey been holding the title now?
Since WrestleMania, right?
Yeah, so I think it's a little over 100. Everyone's over 100 days right now.
Yeah.
I don't think she loses it that quick. I just don't.
The Triple H era has been very keep the title on the champions for a while. You're right.
Great. Yeah.
I could see a scenario though where like Bailey wins, Nia attacks her, and then
it's
Tiffy time, and she cashes in the Money in the Bank, and that's how Bailey loses the title.
What if?
Because it still makes Bailey look strong at the end because she beat Nia, but then it also gives a reason to get the title off of Bailey.
So what if? So what if? And Joey, you can tell me would this be the first time ever both the men and women's Money in the Bank cash-ins are a failure?
Yes, it would be. I think it'd be the first time the women's would be a failure.
No, it would be the first time for a women's, yeah.
Or would it though? Because didn't Carmella win and then not win the title?
No, she had the title because whatever his name, Hensworth or something like that. He helped her.
Was that the second time though?
I don't know.
Because didn't she win it twice? I don't know, man. It's been such a long time.
Well, the first time Carmella won it was the ladder match, which Hensworth climbed up the ladder and got title for her.
Right, I remember that.
So but even if that was the case, that year did the men win their cash in that year?
Yeah, I mean the only two people that had unsuccessful cash-ins was John Cena, Drew McIntyre, and
Damien Sandow.
Those are the only three.
Yeah, so I think it'd be the first time where we went a year where there's not a successful cash-in on Money in the Bank. That would be crazy.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, but I don't know, Tiffany. She's such a creamsicle.
Yeah, but the Triple H era, man, like I love this era because every time we us WrestleManiacs that think we know every storyline and what's going to happen, he shocks us every time.
Yeah, well, I agree. I mean, because at the same time they already said it. Liv officially ended the PG era, and every week now, it's been great. Like, even when they went to Sci-Fi, like past Monday Night Raw, like it was just so much different, the vibes and just everything. Because like usually on USA when they cuss or they do certain things, they're bleeping out the words and all that, the crowd and all that. At Sci-Fi, they were full force. They were going there. Yeah, even it was great.
Yeah, even when the Wyatt Six come out and the crowd yells "You fucked up," like they would bleep it out every 2 seconds. You would just hear beep beep beep. Like this going to Netflix deal is the best thing that WWE could have done.
Yeah, yes and no. So, as an avid wrestling fan, I have watched wrestling like you, Mike, since I was 5 years old, maybe before.
1997 when I started.
I don't know if I would let my son watch the Attitude Era wrestling like we got to watch. I know that it helped shape us into the men we are today. Putting matches and bra and panty matches and all that kind of stuff and Stone Cold flipping everybody off, and it's whatever. I just hope it doesn't get too wild. Like, there's a good line there, right, where you can throw it, like AEW with their blood, it's too much. They have blood all the time. It doesn't make it special.
AEW is messed up. That's why they're seeking. That's why Tony Khan is now over here throwing, having the oops picture with Shane McMahon. Like, they're hurting right now. They're drowning. So now
we had a private meeting, but somebody happened to take a
Yeah.
picture, super private.
So,
right?
but the thing is, like, what's best. Like, I love the Levesque era. Like, I love the Triple H era. Like I said, I've been around. You know, I wasn't much around for the golden era, I guess you could say, but I've been around for every era now. And like having Triple H, and then not just Triple H, but Shawn Michaels, you know, The Rock, and these guys are all Attitude Era guys. Like they're like, hey, let's go back to the Attitude Era, but hey, listen, like we all got daughters and this and that. Like we're gonna do it this way now. I mean, 'cause they're not gonna come out like we're back in the day where Triple H is like Tom Vince McMahon. Hey, you love cocks. You want to pet my cocks? Like they're not gonna go.
Bro,
back
I had
to
that
that,
shirt.
But,
I had the shirt that said Vince loves cocks with a big rooster
Yeah.
on the front of it.
No,
So
I don't. Yeah, and I don't know, man. Like, I just feel like growing up in the Attitude Era was one of my favorite memories. Like, that was just awesome. Excuse me. So, like, I feel like kids these days are just getting robbed of just great wrestling. But not only that, the other reason why I say this is so good for WWE is because how many people don't have cable? They just watch Netflix.
Right.
Their ratings are going to go through the roof by being on Netflix.
I mean, I agree with that. I think the move to Netflix and a streaming service in general is the right idea.
Yeah.
Cable
but at
television
the
is
same
kind of
time,
dead.
it's like how, like now with this whole Netflix deal and stuff. Like now I'm like I said, like I have Netflix, but then am I gonna have to pay for Netflix TV?
No.
So that's
I'm
the next
assuming the
thing.
price of Netflix is probably going to go up here
Oh,
rather
absolutely.
soon, especially once they start adding live TV and shit to it, like the
Well,
But then
WWE.
again,
Yeah, that's. I mean, I didn't think of that aspect of it, but I don't see them. I don't see them doing it that way where they make you buy like how Hulu has like Hulu Live. You have to pay for like their $80 or whatever it is to get their like live TV. I guess I didn't think of that aspect of it, but that's actually a good point. I wonder
yeah,
about
because
that.
Netflix for Netflix Live, I believe it's $50. So it's like, okay, well, I mean, because like I said, I mean, unfortunately, you know, that Netflix, I'm gonna end up canceling Peacock because I watch, you know, one reason I watch Peacock is because of WWE.
Right.
But it's just like, you know, what's gonna happen? Like, am I gonna have to, you know, pay more money to add Netflix TV to be able to watch Monday Night Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and all that now? So that is something I'm trying to pay attention to. So, but other than that, like I said, I mean, the way Triple H has been handling things, like he's phenomenal, and even all the wrestlers have praised him. I mean, the biggest thing is CM Punk. Like, we all know how CM Punk is. Everyone has mixed reviews about him. Me personally, I always loved CM Punk, but I did think that there was times where it's like, you know, he's a cancer to the locker room. But the way he has been with WWE, it's just been like, damn, like he's really grown. Like he's going to NXT to help the younger kids out. And he right now he came out and said, like, listen, like the best thing. Then he came out and said in an interview that, you know, Triple H definitely them running it. They're gonna burn the company to the ground. He goes, he would take that back about Triple H. The way Triple H is running his business and doing everything is just top notch. He doesn't want to leave. He loves being here. And right now they are working on a new contract where he said that he wants to retire and not go anywhere else with, you know, besides WWE.
So I agree with you, Joey, that the feel of WWE is completely different now since Vince left, which that's been a long going problem for years. People have wanted Vince to step down. People have wanted him to give over the reins to Triple H. That's why NXT was super fucking hot when Triple H was running NXT. You had guys like Adam Cole and all that. And there was a lot of times where I was watching NXT more than I was watching Raw and SmackDown. And I made sure to catch the NXT pay-per-views before I'd catch the other pay-per-views. Now, that being said, I still think I don't think Triple H is going to like drastically change things when it goes to Netflix. I do think that it would be wise of him to ask the talent, like, hey, are you comfortable doing this? If you're not, we won't force you to do it. Like Vince kind of would be like, well, no, it's that or nothing. You're either going to
Right.
do this or you're not going to do it. And then we're just not going to use you. So I feel like there might be a little bit more of an edgy presence to the WWE. And I would welcome that because, you know, that the attitude era, man, that was my thing. You know, you got DX crotch chopping, suck it, suck it, suck it. All the crazy
Which
stuff
almost
that
everyone's
happened.
doing it now. Everyone's doing it now. Like even females are doing it, telling the other females to suck it. Like,
Yeah.
like I said, you know, from the Rock's promos with Cody Rhodes and Mama Rose to now like Liv and Dominic, like they're slowly going back. But yeah, there's gonna be a fine line. Like I said, I personally like this has probably been the best wrestling I have seen in a long time. I mean, a long time. And like I said, my first pay-per-view, was 1997, SummerSlam, and it's just like, I'm long ways. I saw almost everyone, been to a lot of them, and again, like this is probably, better and better. This SummerSlam, it was better than last year, and it's just like, I'm excited. It's what Triple H has been doing. It's just phenomenal. He's working with the wrestlers. He wants to hear, hey, listen, if you're uncomfortable doing something, let me know, and we're gonna work something out. We'll just, go get a different angle, and that's why it's like I'm happy with things. Like he really cares.
So let me
Yeah,
ask
I
you guys
think it'll
this.
be good.
So let me ask you guys this. I'm gonna. These are just off the top of my head. I'm sure I'm missing some, but I'm gonna name off some stuff that we saw and enjoyed, and from the Attitude Era. Tell me what ones you can see Triple H bringing back, and it's okay if you say none.
Okay.
We got bra and panties matches. We got pillow fights. We got the mud swamp fights. We got a team like the Brood. And then we had there was one more I was thinking of.
So what would he bring back?
What
or what do we
can
want him to bring back?
Yeah, you guys can comment on those. I thought there was one more I was thinking of. I can't think of it, but I'll let you guys comment. What do you think on those?
So bra and panty matches, pillow fight matches,
Mud fights,
the
Well,
Brood.
Go ahead.
The one thing Triple H has brought back, if you would notice, and they're doing it more with Cody Rhodes, is they're bringing back different match styles. First, they brought back the Texas strap match. Then it was they've had more triple threat matches. They've had last man standing matches.
Oh, that's another one. Inferno match.
Inferno
match.
Casket match.
There's been a lot more Inferno matches than I actually realized. Like,
Well, they
I didn't
kind of
really
tried
pay
bringing that
attention.
casket match back, right? With the Buried Alive match with the
Yeah,
Undertaker.
Taker live match was cool when Taker
Yeah.
lost to Vince McMahon. Remember that? That's when he went back to the dead man persona because Kane helped him win.
No, wasn't there just a Buried Alive match like a few years ago? Undertaker and
It was, I think it was Bray actually. No, it wasn't Bray. It was Undertaker and.
I'm not gonna look this up.
Hold on, I'll look it up.
But I mean, regardless, it's like they're slowly bringing back different match types, and that's great. Like, I love the fact that Triple H, one of the biggest changes. I don't know if you guys noticed or not, is Triple H said he's done with the whole. He said that. The best way. So it's like the Hell in a Cell. He doesn't want the Hell in a Cell. Just we're only gonna use the Hell in a Cell match at the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. So he got rid of that. So there's no more Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. The same thing goes for TLC. And he's like, these are special matches. Like, I don't just want one. I want it to be like surprise matches. Like how back it was when he was wrestling.
The best thing he's done so far is get rid of the Hell in the Cell pay-per-view. I hated that pay-per-view. I love the Hell in a Cell match. I thought I'm a huge Triple H guy, right? So he was my favorite guy growing up, and he helped make that match what it was. And then to just throw it on a pay-per-view because you're like, well, yeah, might as well. It's the pay-per-view coming up, so we're just going to throw these two people into a Hell in a Cell match. It watered it down so much.
And then Triple H also brought back the Blood.
Yep, that was cool. All right, so the
That
last
was-
Buried Alive match that I'm seeing.
I don't think it was actually called a Buried Alive match. It was they were out in like a big open field.
Oh, the farm
I'm
match,
sorry,
right?
That was WrestleMania.
That was the COVID
It was,
WrestleMania.
It was Undertaker versus AJ Styles.
Yeah, yeah, that's
Yeah,
what
that's
that was.
it. And he like went into
Yeah.
like the grave or went into
Yeah.
the dog
Yep.
grave.
Yeah.
I mean, that was cool too because it was a match that like everybody knew Undertaker was done. His body
Yeah.
couldn't handle, so they did that match, which was cool. But
So it's been exciting. Like, do I think what I love for Triple H to bring back the bras and panty matches? Yes, but then it's like I don't think that's going to happen. I mean, especially with a lot of these chicks who are very muscular now. So I mean, it's like seeing more than one China in a ring.
listen, I've been trolled so hard in our group chat over my take on Miss Rhea, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think anybody, man, woman, all bodies are beautiful, man. Throw
Oh, so you're
Paul Heyman
you're
in a
saying you
bra and
want-
panties match. Let's go.
so you're saying you want to see Nia Jax or
All right.
Piper Niven.
So okay. I don't think
There you go.
I don't think if I had to pick one that probably isn't coming back, I would almost guarantee the bra and panties match will not come back.
Yeah, that won't.
I agree.
Especially
I
when
think
Triple H
that-
has 3 daughters.
Right. That's why, because I don't think it's just a different time period, and the idea of that match gives me cringe vibes, you know, and I feel like cancel culture would have a field day with that. So I don't think they'll bring that back. I would love to see, and I think that's what they're doing with this Wyatt Six, like a brood type of faction. And I think the Wyatt Six is going to be interesting because Joey and I were talking about this before you jumped on, Mike, about how when Bray was alive and he was doing his gimmick with the Fiend and everything like that, every feud kind of seemed to just fizzle out. There was never really like a big like nobody seemed to get the better of the feud. It just was like, okay, this is the feud, that's the end of it. You
Well,
know what I mean?
the last time a good feud with the Fiend was when he was feuding with Daniel Bryan. That was the last one. I mean, because with Braun Strowman, okay, you can say that one too, but I mean, like the Randy Orton faded out, you know, or Seth Rollins faded out. So it's like, you know, the whole thing with Goldberg.
Well, right,
too,
because there
that
was no
just
real
trash.
reason or no real purpose for the Seth Rollins feud with the Fiend.
Yeah.
There wasn't. It wasn't.
So
there
what
was,
are you guys' thoughts on the match that this is like when I think of Bray Wyatt matches or Fiend matches, this one I know it's not his best match, but it's one of the most it was probably one of the most weirdest but unique matches. What do you guys think about the COVID match for Cena where he went and beat all of the generational John Cenas?
I loved it. I thought it was a cool, nostalgic type of vibe to it. I think that's what best suits that type of a character, is more of a cinematic type of match. Like, remember when Matt Hardy did the Broken gimmick and they would do like the Hardy compound matches where he would fight at his house and it would be just real gimmicky and over the top obnoxious, and like it worked because that character was so obnoxious and everybody knew, okay, this isn't a wrestling match, this is a entertainment segment of the show.
Okay, it's okay. That's a good example. Like another good example is look at what Mankind, Cactus Jack. Like how many boiler matches did Mankind have? You know,
Probably like 70.
like so that's they could have done that with Bray Wyatt. You know, with the Fiend, like have Inferno matches or boiler matches or SWAT match or any of that. Like when they had that match at the White House Cabana, I thought that was cool. It was different. I was all right, cool. Even when it was the Fiend against Braun Strowman in a swamp, that was cool. It was different. Like having stuff like that would have been cool. It's the Fiend's character, but yeah, like like Bray Wyatt said, like he bumped heads with Vince McMahon so much. They wouldn't let Vince McMahon would not let Bray just be Bray and branch out.
And that's one thing I think about the Vince McMahon era that really I'm glad is over is like it's kind of like the world, right? Like times are shifting, right? Like you need less older presence of like baseball, right? All the old heads in baseball, they always throw a big fit about any type of change you try to make to the game, right? They were pissed off when they threw the pitch clock in there, and now I can't imagine watching a game without the pitch clock because it makes it go by so much faster. It's the same thing. Vince didn't want shit to change. He wanted to act like everybody still didn't know that wrestling was scripted. And like, that's stupid. Like we all know it's not. We all know it's scripted and it's planned and all the endings to the matches are all figured out.
We just always try to convince ourselves that it wasn't.
Besides Samantha, that's all real. That's raw.
All right, man. Well, you could go thirst trap on Samantha Irving's Instagram account.
No,
her new picture.
He is right though. Samantha does not know anything on any matches.
And she
everything that happens, like that's why you see all these. Yeah, if you see all of these reactions of her, like just her jaw dropping, like oh my god, like that's authentic. She has no idea what's
her crying when Cody Rhodes won.
Yeah. She specifically asked the WWE not to tell her what's going on. She wants to watch it as a fan.
That's cool though.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I mean, but like that's the thing is like obviously we've all watched wrestling for a long time. We can kind of see the way things are playing out and move the chess pieces around the way that we think's best for the company to move the chess pieces. Like with the Braun Breaker match and Sami Zayn match, right? I think fully that Breaker wins that match.
Yeah,
I think he destroys Sami Zayn. I think that's going to be a squash match where you're just like, well, here's the title.
Which you're saying
the Sami and Braun Breaker.
Yeah, I agree.
You think he dominates that match?
I think so. I'm looking at the card right now. There's usually one squash match on the card, right? And I think they're going to give fair time to the big three, fair time to Liv and Rhea. The Braun Zayn match is just that match that's kind of there, and you're like, the buildup really hasn't done much for it. Sami is better in the chase for a title than actually being the champion.
Yeah, that's true.
It's been that way.
I don't know, man. I feel like so. I think I might respectfully disagree on this one. Like the thing with Sami Zayn for me is, I feel like he's the kind of champion that I feel like he is one of those just true champions. Hey, I saw what you did. You've been working hard. You've been busting your ass. You deserve a shot at this. I'd be happy to give you one. You know, he doesn't run away from the fights. He's looking for the fights. He's at the point in his career where he wants to recognize talent and give them a fair shot at it. But his whole career, man, I mean, like up until like literally from day one and up until this second with your comment you just made, he's always the underdog. He's always expected to get killed. He's always expected to get crushed. No one expects him to compete with anything, and he's not the strongest guy. He's not the fastest guy, but he fights with the most brains and the most heart. And that I'm not saying he's gonna win that match. I think Braun probably wins that match. But I don't think he's going to dominate that match. I think Sami Zayn's going to give him a hell of a fight.
I think it would be better for Braun if Sami gives him a better fight because we've already watched him go out there and squash all these other people, you know? And that's one thing about the Braun Strowman character that I hated was for like a year straight, they just had him destroying indie talent. And it's like, nobody cares. You're 7 feet tall. You should beat a dude that's 5'5", 106 pounds.
Well, that's also why I've never been a fan of Goldberg, and that's why, like when Goldberg came to WWE, there's some wrestlers that didn't want to wrestle him, and then almost got into a fight, like a backstage fight with him. And Undertaker was one of them. And he's like, dude, like you almost broke my neck. You dropped me on my head.
The thing about Breaker though is, I feel like Breaker's a lot more careful in the ring. He's
Oh,
he's like
absolutely.
controlled chaos, right? That's what I like to think of
That's
him
what I'm
as.
saying. He was like a Ryback. He's just full
No,
force.
no, I wouldn't say a Ryback. I think he's more like a Brock Lesnar. Because Brock
Yeah,
Lesnar will
that's
destroy
I
you.
think that's who they're going to try to build him as is
Yes.
a Brock Lesnar type.
Brock Lesnar comes in and destroys you, but he's also careful with you.
And he has
There's
a
only
mind
one-
for the
there's-
business that
Yes,
Goldberg
Exactly.
didn't have,
exactly.
that
There's only
Ryback didn't
one-
have.
There's
Man.
2 matches that I remember with Brock Lesnar, which I got. Well, the one I was really pissed off about. The first one was when Brock Lesnar took the title from Kofi Kingston. He demolished Kofi Kingston. Like it was game
Yeah.
over. But the second match that really bothered me and upset me, I was like, really, like you really buried this guy like this. It was the match. It was Brock Lesnar versus Randy Orton.
Yeah, where he busted
Like,
him open in the beginning of the
Yeah,
match.
it only
right?
lasted a few seconds then, but then it's like they're having a full-on match with Brock Lesnar and Dean Ambrose, or Brock Lesnar, Finn Balor, these other little guys. But over here, one of the biggest stars of WWE, you're just gonna have Brock Lesnar demolish him? Like it makes no sense. Or if you want another guy, Bobby Lashley. You know, like
I
these guys
love
are
Bobby
dom-
Lashley, by the
So
way.
do I. And I'm hoping that they do resign him because I know his contract is up. They're dominant in the ring, but they're also careful. They're not reckless, and that's why I've been a really big fan of Braun Breaker since he came. When I found out he came, I was like, oh, I was really excited. I'm like, cool. So but I also think too is what I'm kind of hoping is I do want Braun to win, but I'm kind of hoping Sammy does beat him, and then falls back, he goes insane, like kind of like how the Undertaker did with Triple H, where Undertaker shaved his head. I want Braun Breaker to come back as a Steiner. Give him that Steiner name. It is time.
I think that's a topic for another time. I'd like to get into that talk because it was similar with like Charlotte Flair and Ric Flair, right?
Yes.
She wanted to use his last name, but didn't want people to like lump her in with him, which made zero sense to me at all. So who do you guys think wins that match? Zayn or Breaker?
Breaker.
Breaker. But
Breaker.
I think it's a closer match than you guys are making it out to be, though.
No, I think it'll be closer. I think it could be a good
You know
match.
what? I'm going to throw a curveball. I'm going to say I think Sami Zayn wins.
How do
because
you
I wanna be
how
different.
do you go from Breaker's going to dominate him? Does Sami Zayn win?
You switched my mind, man. You were like, because I was thinking like, okay, well, when Sammy fought Roman, that was actually a really good match that I did not expect it to be. Even Sammy and Braun Breaker was a solid match.
I'm just like, if you see how these things are playing out, the first match, it was Breaker won, but it was, well, I looked past you. I didn't expect you to do much. And, I just completely just disregarded, you as a wrestler. And I'm going to take you seriously this time. So now that I'm taking you seriously, I'm going to crush you. I think it just gives Sammy a bad look if that's exactly what happens. I think it will kind of give him like, and that's why you've been the underdog your whole life type of thing. Like,
Right.
I think it'll just give that kind of look to him. So I think Breaker can win this match, but I've been like 55-45 on this match. Like, I think Sammy can win, and I think he's going to put up a hell of a fight. Sammy barely escaped Breaker their first match, and I just don't know if he finds another miracle to do it again. I think it'll be close, but I think Breaker wins.
This will be the match that we're expecting Breaker to win, but then Sammy wins. Triple H is like, okay, you think Breaker's going to win, but we're actually going to let Sammy win.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
This is going to be that match.
This could be a
Oh, yeah,
pay-per-view where I see like all the champions staying the champion at the end of this pay-per-view.
No, I think we're going to have at
No.
least 2 changes.
You think? Well,
Yes.
okay, all right. Next match, this one I'm looking forward to. Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley. And before you guys get crazy, I'm going to be very unbiased in this today. I'm going to put my analytical hat on. I'm not like, super mommied out right now or anything. Be fair and unbiased. I think that this storyline has been one of the best. I think the Judgment Day in general, as an entirety, since they started, has been the best thing in wrestling, other than when Sami Zayn was in the Bloodline.
Yes, I agree.
And the fact that like there's been so many different twists and turns to this whole thing, and they've been able to keep the Judgment Day in the forefront of every Monday Night Raw for like the last 4 or 5 months is crazy to me.
There's just so much going on in the Judgment Day. Like you really can't call anything out because like you like again like okay, you got Liv and Mommy, you got Finn and Damian, but again like this rivalry. That's why like a lot of people are like, oh, Mommy's back. I'm a huge Mommy fan. I love her to death, and it's just like everyone's like, oh, Mommy's back. She's gonna dominate. Same thing, like she's gonna dominate like a Breaker. Like we were just talking about Breaker and Sammy. She, that's it. But no, but it's like the story. There's so much more to the story. And me personally, like I said, I honestly think Dominic's gonna cause Rhea the match. And
now you and I talked about this before the show, Joey. I said something about like Dom turning on Rhea, but I don't necessarily think that needs to happen. You brought up the point, like maybe he doesn't like turn on her, but he accidentally costs her the match.
It's like when he cost Becky the match, when he's trying to help out Becky, but cost her the match. It's gonna be something like that.
You guys say about Sammy being in the Bloodline. I think a very fair comparison is Carlito being in the Judgment Day. Like
that's fair.
That's just been crazy.
Yes.
I felt like I had a perfect read on this match, this entire story. Like this was that one match I felt great about. I'm like, I feel like I can predict this winner. It's easy to me, and it's always been Rhea. And the reason why I say that is because Liv has been pushing buttons and pushing buttons and pushing buttons, and the WWE likes to try to prove that case where it's kind of like you keep pushing someone, when they fight back, you will win it. And I think that they pissed Rhea off so much that I was literally saying this with my son, that remember we went to when War Games was here, NXT War Games when it was here, it was popular then. We don't hear it anymore. But I was like, this might be a time to bring back the Rhea's gonna kill you chant, because it really felt like that vibe. But
she could kill
now
me.
Now I don't have that good of a read on it anymore, because now the whole thing flipped. Now it's kind of Liv got embarrassed. Liv got pissed off. She's gone on this complete outrage, destroying their locker room. Now it's kind of
burning their merch.
Yeah,
that psycho ex-girlfriend type of vibe.
I mean, it's just kind of like now Rhea's kind of sitting comfortable and happy, and Liv is the one that's coming enraged and pissed off. So it's kind of like
exactly.
I think the way because it's like Joey said, everyone knew it's like Rhea's got this match, but like this curveball, the flip of emotion, they literally made this match a 50-50 where nobody really knows who's gonna win.
So again, you're kind of like, if you go back to some of Liv's matches, or like the best one I come up with is Liv and Ronda Rousey. Like they went head to head, but Mommy, Rhea, she's more dominant.
You can call her Mommy. It's okay.
And it's just like I don't see it being like a back and forth type of match. So that's why I'm saying Dominic's not going to turn on her. Absolutely not. If he did, that'd be mind blowing. But I do honestly believe Dominic's he's going to cost Rhea the match, and then they're going to continue to Bad Blood, which I would love to see. Rhea Ripley against Liv Morgan in the Hell in a Cell.
Oh yeah, that would be so good.
Yeah, I mean you can't have Dominic involved in this storyline as much as he has, and him not have an impact on this match.
100%.
Yeah,
and that's why, I think when you look at this match, Mike, you're right. I think everybody assumed Rhea was going to win, and then they flipped the script by making Liv this kind of psycho. And you watch this build when she lost to Ronda Rousey. Remember, she was laughing while she was getting choked out, and you know, there's been like these little hints of her kind of going nuts, and now with Dom choosing Rhea, this is a whole scenario where I don't think you take the belt off of Liv just yet. I think, but you can't have her beat Rhea straight up. You just can't.
Exactly.
So there has to be a way for this to end. And like a double DQ is stupid, or like a no contest is stupid. You have to have Liv beat Rhea, but it has to not be because it can't make Rhea look weak.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So the best way to do that is, you know, oh, what if I could see something where like Dom is in the ring holding Liv or something. Rhea goes to hit Liv, hits Dom, Liv rolls up Rhea in like a schoolboy 1, 2, 3, match is over. Liv dips out of the ring. Rhea and Dom are left there kind of fighting back and forth. And then you go to Bad Blood where you put them in a Hell in a Cell where Dom can't get in. You know what I mean? And it's those two. And that's where Rhea takes the title back, because I mean, Rhea in a cage. Do I really need to like get into that too?
That's
you
why.
know?
That's why, because it's like, I mean, it's like, I think, what was the match? I think it was Sasha Banks and Charlotte that was in the first Hell in a Cell match, and that was a great match. It's like, okay, you know, and this is where it kind of like bats, you know, Liv versus Rhea Ripley in a Hell in a Cell, like that's just so much damage. No one can get in, no one can get out. Like, you know, who's going to be the final person standing? And that's when it's like, okay, they lost once. Here you go. She won it again, and then they go from there. But like I said, I'm 100% rolling with Liv this Saturday.
Yeah, I think Liv wins the match. As hard as that is for me to say, my girl Rhea is going to lose, unfortunately. But she'll get hers back later on. That's how I feel. Mike, who do you think wins?
I 100% see the point of Dominic, and I think that is an easy answer. Honestly, I think that's what a lot of people are going to be thinking is Dominic's going to cost Rhea the title. I think that's just like the storyline that all of us WWE fans try to predict, and like that's that bold prediction we try to come up with. But I just wonder if it's gonna be is this a match? Like, this is a Super Bowl prediction I think is gonna be completely wrong. But like, just to kind of like not, always kind of give the same thing. Like, is this a match that we see someone like what's her name? We're just talking about the baddest woman on the planet. What's her name?
Ronda Rousey.
Is it a match we see Rousey come back to come at Liv, or Becky Lynch? Like when she had her feud with Liv,
or Charlotte.
Or Charlotte Flair. I mean, is it one of those? Is it one of those where maybe people start getting involved? Maybe Dominic comes out. Does someone else come out? Does it same thing? Like maybe he just stays like somehow gets a disqualification, but maybe it's because we just get someone that we're gonna get shot by getting returned.
Or right now the biggest curveball, which I'm waiting for. All the Easter eggs are lining up, and the biggest one, if you notice, was the locker room. The locker room got trashed. Everyone's faces were X'd off besides Finn Balor. What if Finn causes Rhea the match because Liv helped Finn win the tag titles?
Joey, that's actually a very good point. I forgot about that.
Yes.
I don't know. So, and now if that happens, obviously Finn is out of the Judgment Day, right? Because you can't turn on Mommy and then expect to still be there.
Him and Priest. I have the video saved somewhere, but it breaks everything down, and it says that how, if you think about it, the only person from the Judgment Day that's been loyal to Rhea Ripley from day one is Damian Priest.
That's
which
true.
sets up Priest versus Balor.
I mean, I think eventually you get to that match, right? Because I just read an interview where Finn talked about bringing the Demon back, but he's worried about bringing the Demon back because WWE has fumbled that so terribly over the last 3 times he was that character.
Because look at now. I mean, last week you said like, you know, Rhea and both Damian Priest were like, why are you picking a fight with Jey Uso? Like, and a week before that, Priest was eating with Jey Uso, and Priest is becoming a good guy. And like I said, it's like Finn Balor is like bumping heads with Priest line, and the way he's looking at him and, you know, barking orders on the side. It's like, okay, what if that does happen? What if Finn Balor does cause Rhea Ripley the title?
So, and on that note, I think someone being the reason and dictating an outcome of a match. I mean, I don't think you can ask for a better segue than that to the CM Punk and Drew McIntyre with Seth Rollins guest referee. I mean,
that match is going to be insane. That's going to be hard hitting right off the bat. I think it's going to be a lot of. I remember watching when Shawn Michaels was a special referee for the Rock and Triple H match, and I could see it being a scenario where I mean, Rollins hates both these dudes, right? Especially CM Punk. It's kind of like, who does he dislike more? Is he going to call it fair, even though he probably shouldn't? You know,
the best example for that, I want to see the Triple H, Rock, and Shawn Michaels, because and then Shawn Michaels helped out Triple H. I would go back to where it was the Rock when he was a special guest referee for the British Bulldog and Triple H.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Or Stone Cold when he was a referee for, I think it was the Rock or Triple H or someone else. Like, often stuttered both Triple H and I think it was Mankind. And we're like, the Rock, he rock bottom Triple H and the British Bulldog. And then at the end, he went to go count 1, 2. It doesn't matter if I count 3. And then he just walked out. That was the match.
So maybe that I'll get you guys' opinion if you think this is a fair way of looking at this match. Maybe it's not. But I think Seth Rollins, I think if you have a guest referee with this much hatred towards both guys and just calls it down the middle, boom, 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 1, 2, 3. Like, no one wants it. That's boring for a guest. Like that,
yes.
You know what I mean? Just have a normal referee at that point. So I think he somehow does something where he just randomly looks at someone or does a curb stomp, or he does something to somebody, or he dictates his match in one way or the other. So then you ask yourself, all right, which one? And this is where, if you think this is a fair way of looking at this, by me wondering which one, I am thinking, which guy do I think is kind of at his last days probably with WWE or nearing the end of WWE. And I don't think that can be CM Punk because he was the biggest addition in recent memory. So it tells me it's Drew McIntyre. And the reason why I asked that question of which one is probably going to be slowly fading away is because I think Drew McIntyre might win this match because Seth Rollins might screw over Punk, and that's going to turn into a CM Punk Rollins rivalry with Drew McIntyre kind of slowly fading away.
So I think at this point, I think Drew needs a win in the worst way. They just extend him?
Yes, The Rock did. So I think what Michael just said, I kind of agree. What I think is going to happen is that Drew's going to go to give Punk the Claymore effect, and going to miss Punk. It's going to hit Seth, and then that's when Seth is going to come curve stop him without Punk even knowing, and then Punk's going to get up, give him to go to sleep, hit him 1, 2, 3, and then that's when Seth's going to curve stop CM Punk and then walk out.
And it's just going to be a no contest?
In the end,
Punk's going to win. Punk is going to win.
Yeah, in the end, I think Punk has to. I think Punk, when you're a guy like Drew McIntyre, put him on the shelf and for so long and took so much of his career away, I think it has to be a payback win for CM Punk. I think if there's one outcome I am more confident in on this card, it's Punk, and there's one other which we have not gotten to yet that I'll elaborate on later. But
I agree with you, Mike, on the. I think CM Punk needs to look strong in this match. I don't think he's going to be like dominant. I think he's going to get his ass kicked, but I do think he needs to come out and look like he can contend for one of these titles that eventually you would think he gets put into a match with, right?
And see, this match brings me back to when it was Daniel Bryan versus the Authority, where Triple H and the Authority, they took out Daniel Bryan, and then WrestleMania he had to fight Triple H, which he barely won, and then he went to the Triple Threat where they were kicking his ass, and then he found out the win. Like Drew's crying right now. Drew took his bracelet. He went to social media, made a shirt. He did beyond to really piss CM Punk off. And then now that like CM Punk's taking action, and okay, you want to take me out, you want to troll me, you want to bring up my wife, you want to bring up my dog, poor Larry. And it's like,
I mean, Larry is kind of ugly. Have y'all watched the new Deadpool movie yet?
Yeah. So, but it's just like these are the consequences for your actions. So you want to play games, you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes, and yeah, these are the stupid prizes Drew McIntyre has won.
Yeah. So like
you said, him fading away, because right now he's a heel. So let him fade away, and then when the time is right, bring him back as the baby face, and there you go.
Here's the problem with that, though. I think Drew is a terrible face. I think him being a heel is the best thing that they did for his career in the WWE. The whole 1, 2, 3 Claymore kick you in the face is so overplayed. It's so stupid. I agree that there's going to be some kind of a weird ending to this match in terms of like one of these guys is going to accidentally hit Seth Rollins, right? That's probably going to happen. I could see a scenario where Rollins gets taken out, right? And then a new ref comes in, and during a 1, 2, 3 for like Drew Mac, I feel like, all right, hear me out, right? Nerd hat on. So Drew goes to Claymore, CM Punk. Punk moves, he hits Rollins. Rollins gets knocked out. He Claymore's CM Punk. A new ref comes running into the ring to count. Then Seth Rollins curb stomps that ref, which would cause McIntyre to get pissed off and would give him a reason like, oh, well, look, I was going to win this match, but Seth Rollins cost me that opportunity. And then you have CM Punk win because you're still keeping Drew strong, and I think that's important with his character. That's the only reason this character has survived this long, is because even when he loses, it's been fluky losses, or like he's looked really strong, like when he fought Roman, right, at Clash at the Castle. He looked strong, but then obviously the bloodline cost him that match. Against Priest, he looked strong, but then CM Punk cost him that match. Like, if he just loses, you take everything you've built into that character away. So Rollins is going to have to be the reason that he ends up ultimately losing, which I could see as like what I painted that picture. And then where he's yelling at Rollins, turns around and gets hit with the GTS 1, 2, 3. It's over.
Yeah. So predictions, who you got?
I got CM Punk.
Punk, of course.
Us Chicago boys got to stick together, you know.
Yep, absolutely.
Oh, okay. That was a really fun match to talk about. And
that was a good one.
Now, the Priest and Gunther match, I don't really. I have zero idea how this is going to go.
Let me. So I'm gonna start with that one. The Priest and Gunther, at first when I first thought about it, I was like, I don't want to see that match. So I was hoping for Seth Rollins to win the title back. So if you think about it, Priest and Gunther, are they really going to put butts in seats? Are they going to sell tickets? Like, at the beginning, it's like absolutely not. But we all know Gunther in the ring is entertaining. He's awesome to watch. if you like him or hate him, you can't take now one number reference. I'll say what Sheamus says. Every match he's had has been banger after banger after banger, like all great matches. And it's like Damian Priest. I was, at first I was kidding, like Priest champion, that ain't gonna last long. But I might sound wrong, biased, I guess you could say, or whatever. But I think Damian Priest has had a better title run than Cody Rhodes. He's been an excellent champion. And
I agree 100% with that statement.
I really am looking forward to this match, Priest against Gunther. Like,
don't tell my son.
The way they've been going back and forth, and the way Damian Priest has been carrying himself, and Priest, I thought Priest was gonna be like the kind of champion where, you gotta, I'll fight you on my time, this and that. No, Priest has been champion. Hey, it's either put up or shut up. You want some? Come get some. And he's been coming, and me personally, I really want, if Priest is the man, he needs to, when he did get set, he needs to win this title match clean.
I don't think he wins this match clean.
He did tell the Judgment Day to stay back. He don't want no one involved.
So this is a scenario where I see Finn coming out, even though Damian told him not to, trying to help Damian win the match. Ultimately, Damian gets pissed, whatever, almost loses, but then eventually wins. I just don't know, because of how high they built Gunther up, it seems almost impossible for him to lose this match, right?
So it's like, again, what happened with Jay, when Priest fought Jay.
So my kind of thought on it is, I agree with your initial comment, Ace, where it's one of those matches where you have no idea what the hell's going to happen and who's going to win. And because of that, I almost lean Damian, because when you don't really know and you think it's a 50-50 who's going to win this match, I look at what storylines are there with each guy. There's just so much better storylines with Damian winning this than Gunther. Like, there's so many different roads you can go down with that. And to you guys' point about the better champion than Cody, the only reason why I would kind of disagree with that is because Cody is like the face of WWE. So I think there's a lot more expected of him than there is Damian. So he has a lot more obligation than Damian does, where Damian kind of just, like you said, he goes out. I love Damian, but he goes out there. He's been a good champion, but Cody, for what he's expected to do with not only the champion, but one of the main faces of WWE, I think he's been doing an amazing job at it.
So I think him being on SmackDown is really difficult for him with this title, because there is zero.
Right.
When I say zero, I mean no real threat to his title on SmackDown. None.
It's the bloodline.
Like,
I mean,
come on.
What about CM Punk?
Here.
CM Punk's a Raw guy right now.
Look at Cody.
I don't want to, like, this is a hard topic to talk about without transitioning from this match to the next match. So I feel like we should just combine both of these into one topic. Maybe I'm wrong. What do you guys think?
Well,
I think we're pretty close to wrapping up the Priest Gunther match. There's really not a whole lot to that match. It's just, like I said, I think you guys made some really good points, and I think Damian wins because I just think there's just better storylines available going forward with him winning.
Exactly. So now, okay, we'll go into the Cody match. Wait,
Joey, real quick. Sorry, there's one point I want to make. I kind of agree with you, Ace, about Finn coming out, but the reason why, and I know you didn't see SmackDown, but Finn told everyone not to come out in his match versus Gunther on SmackDown. And Raw, sorry. And Damian came out, but Damian only came out because he was getting choked out. So he was coming, the match was over.
Yeah, the match was over.
Yeah, everything. But I still think Finn's going to use that as the little wiggle room he could. Well, you came out when I told you not to. I'm going to come out during your match. I do see something like that happening.
That's a good call. Yeah, I didn't watch Raw this last week. I just watched a
Yeah.
few clips, but that makes sense. And I think Finn ends up coming out. I don't know if it costs Damian the match because it's just going to be difficult to put the title on Gunther and then not expect him to have the title for a long time. You know what I mean? Like
Gunther winning. So Damian winning, it's an amazing storyline for Damian going forward. But Gunther winning, I still don't know where they go with Gunther as him as a champion, and it puts it in a very awkward storyline for Damian at that point. So,
right.
Yeah.
So we all think Damian wins this match.
Well, yeah. I mean, another thing too is like look at how Gunther carried himself as the IC champion. We already know what he's capable of, how he carries himself. So he will be a great world champion. But that's why we're like, that's a story we can wait for. Right now, Damian, he's the kid.
Joey, sorry for interrupting you. I'll let you lead us into this main event here.
So the last match on the card, it's already been talked about. It's going to wrap the show. The true main event: Cody Rhodes versus Solo Sikoa. This is what I mean about what I talk. Go ahead, Joey. You first. Sorry. Go ahead.
Well, it's the thing. Like I said, back about matches. Like I said, I've grown to love Cody Rhodes. He's a fighting champion. He wears that title with pride and a lot of emotions. And I know I talk about make fun of him about crying so much. And it's because I can relate because I cry all the time. But it's just like he backs up. Like when he really needs to show that he can kick some ass, he does it. He's all in. But it's like again, like look at these matches he's had. Like first it was Logan Paul. Like really why? Like that made zero sense to me. And then it was AJ Styles, and I'm like, okay, that's got better. The last match they had was really great. And then now it's like, here he is battling again with the Bloodline, and it's just like, again, like it's the same thing. Like he's getting his ass kicked by the Bloodline over and over. He already lost to Solo, so it's just like, it's like it's like a disc, playing and replay over and over. Like it's a little boring. So it's
I think.
Yeah.
So this goes back to what I was talking about before, where there's no real true challengers for Cody Rhodes' title, making it almost impossible for you to really believe that anybody he goes up against is going to beat him. That's what I think the problem was when you put the title on Cody in the first place. I like Cody. I don't think my son is watching, so I'm going to say this. I think Cody Rhodes is overrated. I think that he put in a lot of work, and I appreciate the work that he put into his character and building himself on the indies and going to New Japan and then going to AEW and working to build himself to a point where he can go back to the WWE strictly just to win this title, right? But now you have the title. It's almost like when Seth Rollins beat Brock Lesnar for the title, and everybody wanted Seth to beat Brock so badly for the title. And then he did. And then everybody got stale on it right away. And I kind of think that's where the Cody Rhodes title reign is going. I think it's very stale. I think Damian's had more intrigue in his matches because Damian isn't your big star. He's not your Seth Rollins. He's not your CM Punk. He's not your Roman Reigns, your Cody Rhodes type of guy. So every match he has, there's that thought like, okay, he could lose this match, right? There is zero shot that I see Solo winning this title. Zero.
Well, that's why, like I said, like before, like it would have made more sense to had Cody at SummerSlam had Cody Rhodes. Like the AJ Styles versus Cody Rhodes made a lot of sense. It was great. I really enjoyed it. But this, like, what they should have done was this is when they should have been, okay, we already have the Bloodline story, the whole Roman, like, Solo will not be champion anytime soon. So, like, what I would have done was I would have went the direction where, okay, him versus Randy Orton, to have Randy Orton turn heel again, and then them battling out. That would have made more sense and put out better ratings and showings.
So, Joey, I know I've talked to you in DM about this. I know I've been very vocal about this pretty much for the past 3 or 4 months. I know that we kind of talked about it a little bit before we came on the air here, but I think it's important that we just need to remember, in my strong opinion, where I know it's probably your guys' too, this is not a storyline for Cody Rhodes to face Solo for the title. This storyline is literally all because of a way to bring Roman back.
That's it. Power. That is all this match is for, is to bring back Roman Reigns. That's it.
Yes.
And I get that. Truly, I do, and I understand it. And the whole fucking world of wrestling knows that that's what's going to happen. Because if Roman doesn't come back, I read a stat that this is like the first SummerSlam he would miss since 2017.
Yeah.
There's zero shot he's not coming back. There's been all this hype, all these videos of dude in the gym just going monster mode, and
well, it's not just that, but now it's the jabs from Solo. Solo is legitimately
right.
Every SmackDown called out Roman Reigns. If Roman Reigns has a problem, he can step up and do something about it and acknowledge me.
And that storyline to me is so much more intriguing than anything Cody Rhodes could have go on.
Exactly.
I think the Bloodline storyline got really super stale there. They ended it all at the right time. I think obviously we know what's going to happen, right? We know eventually this leads to probably War Games.
It's not only bringing back Roman, it's bringing back Paul Heyman. It's bringing back Jimmy Uso, who's now medically cleared. And then it's like, as much as I'm a huge Jay. I love Jay. I love Usos, but Jay I wanted them to put a title on him, but they didn't. So it's like, this is now the time it's time to bring the Usos back, and then Jimmy, and then you still got Fatu waiting there, who just sent a message on Instagram, posting red teardrops and then the praying hands, and basically saying soon.
So I think this is, like I said, I think this all leads to a War Games pay-per-view where it's the new Bloodline, and then there's some build to have Roman and Jimmy together for a while, and they're going to get their asses kicked on SmackDown, and then they're going to go to Jay and be like, hey, Jay, we need your help, man. Come back in. And then Sammy's going to get brought back into this somehow just to put a nice little bow on the Sammy-Roman saga. And I think that that's the best way you can do this. And this is true. Here's my fucking wrestling nerdism coming out. This is the one thing about the Triple H era that I absolutely love. His ability to keep these long-term stories going and to keep them interesting for the most part. Obviously, there's going to be some stale moments. But to be able to take this Bloodline story that started during COVID, right? Roman came back, destroyed The Fiend, won the title, and it's been that since. To keep that going for almost 4 years is so impressive. Actually, didn't that happen at SummerSlam when Roman came back and beat The Fiend?
Yeah.
So it has been 4 years. Yeah, so to have this going on that long and to have Roman still be ultimately the guy in this company, even though he lost the title, that's a testament to who Roman is as a performer, and a testament to the belief that Triple H put into the Shield as a whole when they were still coming up. Because Roman and Seth have been in the spotlight since they were with the Shield. They've carried this company for the last 10 years. It's kind of insane if you think about it.
So
that's why, people like.
No, go ahead. Go, Joey, go. You're fine.
It goes back to, what The Rock, Rock and Roman, I'm a huge Rock fan. Everyone knows that. I love The Rock. When he came out, I cried. When I met him in person, I cried. the fact like even him, I was excited when he announced Roman versus Rock, and then all of a sudden like, oh, poor, all the Cody crybabies, and then boom, the living heaven, he turned Rock to a heel. Like that was the best decision on Triple H's part, and even though the Rock took the credit for it, but it's just like again the same thing with here. Like Roman doesn't need a title. Like he's ready to all that. So him coming back to this, like I said, someone said like I'm like it's do we know if he's coming back? No. And me, do I think he's coming back? Yes. But again, this is gonna end up okay, Roman's taking back the bloodline, which is his, and then which will eventually set up Roman versus Rock.
Is this a spot where The Rock comes back and joins the new bloodline because he can manipulate the newer bloodline easier than a Roman? Now we're getting kind of crazy with the nerd talk here. So,
well, I know Joey. I think Joey sent us a message maybe a week or two ago how there's been rumors of The Rock coming back, and
he just finished his movie War Machine.
Yeah. Yep. So I'm not saying he doesn't come back, but I think there's a true connection with The Rock and Roman. I think The Rock, if he's just The Rock period and the WWE's talking to him about coming back, if he's not connected with Roman some way somehow, I don't think it's worth his while. And I think he'll say that. I think he wants to be with Roman. I think coming back to like team up with Solo and company, I don't think makes much sense.
What if? Now here's the nerd comes out of me now. Especially being at WrestleMania. What if they did like a whole WrestleMania rethink where how Roman, John Cena came out, whatever. At SummerSlam, Jimmy. To me, I think Jimmy's gonna make his return tomorrow. To cause the bloodline to lose the title. I mean, they're not win the titles. But what if at SummerSlam Jimmy comes out and then he starts beating up him, and then all of a sudden you hear is, excuse me, Paul Heyman comes out, and then all of a sudden Roman comes out, and then I'll see here the final boss, and then it ends with Roman and Rock staring each other down again.
I'm just trying to think how you get to Roman versus Rock, right? Because that's ultimately what everybody wants to see, right? At WrestleMania this last. It's in Vegas, right? Roman and Rock is going to be the main event.
I don't think so. I think it's going to be Rock versus Cody.
So Roman versus Rock might happen. I do like that angle, and I do like where you're going with that. But in order for The Rock to face Roman, they need to be aligned. Like they need to be connected. They need to be on the same page. Like them facing at SummerSlam would have been a good segue because of how WrestleMania ended, but it didn't.
But if you think about it, listen. If you really think about it and look at the bigger picture, it's basically like Roman Reigns is coming out to save Cody from the new bloodline, and then The Rock is like, bro, what are you doing? You're saving someone who took your title, who's against our family, and then that's when they start bumping heads, and then there you go.
Right. See, because that's my thought is like. Roman comes back, and obviously Solo's been talking smack, so he's going to already feel some type of way about trying to put Solo in his place, right? And The Rock will take offense to Roman going against the family, right? And that's ultimately where The Rock joins the new bloodline or whatever. There's so many different angles. That's why this is interesting.
I look at that differently. So I don't look at the Roman coming back and targeting Solo. I don't take that as Roman going against his family. I think it's almost protecting his family because Solo's coming out saying he's the tribal chief, dissing Roman. So I think it's Roman coming back to put some respect back on the name, put respect on what the tribal chief actually means, not a name that you just demanded people to call you, what actually comes with that name. So I don't know if I agree with Roman targeting Solo means he's going against his family. I think Solo's already disrespected their family, and that's what makes Roman go at Solo.
See, that's the best part about this topic is that all of the different roads that we've just taken, no pun intended with Cody Rhodes, but all the different roads we've taken are all scenarios that realistically could play out, and it would all make sense in the long run.
Well, that's why I said like the only real beef right now is Jimmy with Solo and all that. Yeah, Solo has taken shots at Roman, but they didn't take Roman out. They took Jimmy out. So I can see Jimmy coming. So I can see like what I meant, like Roman showing up and basically looking face to face with Solo, and then Solo be like, okay, Ben, you're the head of the table. You're back. This is back. Your bloodline. And then all of a sudden Solo turning on Roman, and then the new bloodline beating up Roman. And that's when Roman and the Usos line back up, and they start battling, and that's when The Rock makes the return.
Yeah, there's just so many different things. I think SummerSlam is going to be a real... It's definitely going to set up for like a newer era, I feel like, of these younger wrestlers taking over. That's another thing Triple H has done well, is kind of put these younger guys in a spot where they're not overwhelmed, but they're still getting the experience that you need, and then you're able to build off of that. Now, we went pretty long with this show, an hour and a half, which, I mean, it's whatever. I have nowhere to be.
It's SummerSlam, man.
Right, it's SummerSlam. We did the same thing with WrestleMania. We did almost a 2-hour show for that. I think it'll be interesting to see. I'm excited for SummerSlam. I'm always excited for these big pay-per-views.
I'll be there.
And Joey will be there. Maybe he'll get some inside knowledge on if he sees The Rock or anything. He can let us know. But I had a good time tonight with you, gentlemen.
Awesome. Glad to be back.
Wrestling is it's a passion of mine. I kind of nerd out about it sometimes.
We all do.
Now, there is hopes to kind of get this to be more of a weekly or bi-weekly show. So we're going to keep you guys updated on that. Tomorrow,
I think we got to give our predictions, though. We got to give our predictions on this match.
Okay, go ahead. Give your prediction.
I got Cody.
Disqualification. Cody gets the win.
I think Cody wins too. I don't see a scenario where Solo leaves as the champion.
Yeah, I agree.
I think if that happened, I'd be very disappointed. It would throw everybody off. I don't think anybody would expect that.
Yes.
I don't know. I've been reading a lot.
Like I could see a scenario where the Bloodline attacks Cody, and ultimately that's how he loses. I don't know. I just feel like that's a big risk.
I've been reading about a lot of people, more people than I thought, that are reading that think the Bloodline are going to be a reason why Solo wins. But I almost think like it could almost be like those mind games. Like, what if like Roman cost Solo the title without even getting involved in the match? Like, what if his music just plays and Solo starts looking at the ramp, just distracted and thrown off that he hears that Roman theme, and that was just enough to throw off the match to get Cody the win?
I feel like the crowd would be pissed if Roman's music hits and Roman doesn't come out. Just think about like
what if it
we've
comes out
seen
and
some huge
just
pops over the years, right? Like when CM Punk came back to the WWE, yeah, that was a big pop. Or when Triple H came back from the tear, the ACL tear in his knee, that was a big pop. The pop that Roman's going to get when he comes back is going to be nuts.
Well, I mean, he might come out, but I'm saying, like, what if he just stands at the ramp just enough to throw him off? But
that's what I could see happening. I don't think he gets involved in the match.
Right. Exactly.
I see it where, like, if he comes out, he'll stand at the ramp, Solo look at him. You get hit with the Cody cutter off the rope, and that's the end of the match.
I agree.
So, all right. Well, boys, thank you for jumping on tonight. It was fun. We had some viewers that I was getting text messages from. Good show. It was a great show. The best show. I'm back tomorrow with Tarbill. We have our boy Mike Hughes going to jump on with us at 8:30 tomorrow to talk all things Bears, because I love the Bears, and the Bears are playing right now. Right now it is 17-14 going into halftime. We're going to recap the game, and then we're going to talk a little bit about a special trailer dropped for a show that I think all of us are really looking forward to watching August 6th. So tune in, same place.
Oh yeah, and
you guys will.
Seth Rollins is actually at the Hall of Fame game tonight.
That's what's up. See, because Seth Rollins and I we're like this. We're both Bears fans, and we know what's up. So tomorrow, 8:30, right back here. Like, subscribe on the YouTube page. Hit the little notification button so you get notified when we go live. You can find us on Facebook, Undefeated Sports Network. We're there. We're kind of all over the place, man. Boys, thanks again for hopping on, and you enjoy your ride. Joey, drive safely, okay? And I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Just made it to Chicago.
I'm undefeated!